Alright, so games or series that I want to come back or make a return. Now, if any of these are already in development, I don't know. Any games that are already announced that are coming back will not be in this list. Crazy Taxi. Been wanting that for years, but Sega put out a teaser that a new Crazy Taxi is in development, so that won't make my list because it already is coming back. So those are pretty much the only ground rules that I have for this. So the first one, and I'm hoping that this one is in development and we just don't know, F-Zero. And I think they're teasing, they were testing this because they put out F-Zero 99 on the Switch. I think that they were testing that maybe to see if people were interested in the franchise. The Super Nintendo and the N64 one is the only ones that I've played. So this was the last one I played. The GameCube one I hear is the best, but I've never played it. The next one, Power Stone. But Power Stone is kind of like an arena fighter. It's more, I would say, like Smash Brothers style than Street Fighter style. There was two of these. There was this one and Power Stone 2. And I believe they were only in the arcade and Dreamcast. The collection released on Vita. So I have Power Stone 2 on Vita, but the only one I have original Power Stone 1. So this is a series that I haven't gotten into until recently. But what I played with them, I think they're really fun, and I'd like to see what they looked like in a modern style game. And they're releasing like the Capcom Fighting Collection Volume 2. The Power Stone games are in that, so maybe there's another test to see what games people are interested in bringing back. Next, Infamous. This is a PlayStation series made by Sucker Punch. There was 3 games and like a 4th one that was kind of like a spin-off of the 3rd one. I forget what that one was called, but there was Infamous, Infamous 2, and Second Son, which was the last one released on PS4. That one was okay for me. It wasn't like, oh, I need to play this again, and I haven't since I played it the first time. But Infamous and Infamous 2, I really enjoyed. And I remember there was a weird, like, rivalry when this came out with Prototype. And, like, Prototype was coming out for Xbox 360. It may have came out for PS3, too. I don't know. And this was coming out for PS3 around the same time. But they're not even anything close to the same games. But they were like new franchises, and I don't know why people were comparing the two, but they were nothing alike. But Infamous, the guy's name was Cole McGrath, I believe. They even put him in the PlayStation All-Stars fighting game. You could shoot powers out of your hands, and you had 2 paths. You could take the good path or the evil path. I really liked the first 2 games. The 3rd one was okay, but I would like to see Infamous come back in some form. Did I take the good or the evil path? I took the good path. The next one is also a PlayStation franchise, Resistance. But they put out 3 games of these on the PS3. They put one out on the Vita. I've played all of them. It was like a post-World War II era where aliens invaded first-person shooter series. I liked the storyline. I thought the gameplay was fun. This was an Insomniac. Of course, they're busy making Spider-Man and Wolverine and all that. You know, they take these studios and they put them on other things, and the stuff they became famous for kind of goes away. I would love to see Resistance come back. The 3 games on PS3 are really good. The Vita one was okay. It was just okay. The next series that I would like to see come back, Army of Two. Do you guys remember this game? This franchise had 3 games. I played them all. This was the only one like that I really enjoyed playing, and it was just like you and a buddy, stupid third-person shooter fun. I'd like to see what that would look like today. I had fun playing this with a friend. Army of Two. The first game I really liked. I still have like some nostalgia for this. The second and third ones I didn't really get into, so I don't know what made this one different than the sequels. Maybe it was just brand new. I don't know. But if they would bring this back, I'd like to feel like I did playing the first one again. All right, next. And they've tried reviving this and it failed, but they did it differently, but that's all right. Guitar Hero. I love Guitar Hero. The problem with Guitar Hero, why this died out, is because they milked it and they made one like multiple games a year. And then Rock Band came in with the drums, and then Guitar Hero had to have the drums, and then the kits became too expensive, and everything became too expensive, and there were so many freaking games, and they burn out. But if you go back to the early years of Guitar Hero, particularly Guitar Hero 3, when it really hit big and everybody was getting into it, These games are fun as hell. I still have fun playing these games, or Rock Band. I like playing the guitar. Why do I never stream them? Well, because every friggin' thing would get muted, copyrighted. I know they have a new game, I think it's called Clone Hero on PC, where they have unlicensed songs so people can still play it. But man, I want to play the songs that are on, real songs. But Guitar Hero, I would like to see make a comeback. Guitar Hero was hyped for a while. I remember Guitar Hero 3, everybody was playing it. But yeah, then Rock Band kind of changed the game, and then Guitar Hero tried to be Rock Band instead of just sticking to the guitar. You know what I always thought was weird? Why didn't the band sets, when you get the band set and you would get the drums, you would get the guitar, and you would get the microphone, why didn't it come with 2 guitars? Because you should have a guitar and a bass player. So it should have came with 2 guitars. But anyway, that was like 15 years ago. Split Second. This is not a series. This was like the only game. And it's a racing game, but it's like, I'm going to read you the description on the back because I can't explain it better than this. A dynamic new TV show on a global stage. A city created for speed and destruction. Join the race, trigger the action, crush your competition. So it was supposed to be like a TV show where you race and you can destroy the environments to take out your opponent racers. It's fun as hell. This game, I don't think, went into the game show or TV show aspect of it enough. I think if they did this again, they could make a huge campaign out of it and a TV show. I didn't think they did the storyline that well, but the actual racing of this game is fun as hell. Split Second, I would like to see come back. Next, another one that is not a series and will probably never come back, but God, I wish it would. LA Noire. This is one of my all-time favorite games. Now, if you don't know the development story behind this game, the What Happened series by Matt McMuscles has a good episode on this. It was development hell. The guy that ran this studio, it was a Rockstar game, but Rockstar didn't make it. Team Bondi did, and the guy that ran it was a complete freaking asshole, and it was horrible working conditions. But this game, the game that came out, is absolutely freaking amazing, and it has one of my favorite lines of all time.
So tell us about this kid Gabriel. You had a run-in with him?
Mecánico, a presumptuous young man who did not know his place. He presumed to ask me questions.
We do a lot of presuming here in the United States, Consul General. It comes with the turf.
You fuck young boys, Valdez.
And I freaking just died, because it came out of nowhere. Depending on how you would take the questioning, the detective would be calm and then scream out of nowhere, like if you changed the direction. It was freaking hilarious. If a new studio came in and made it in the vein of this one, this game is absolutely amazing. Took place in the 1940s, yeah. LA, obviously, by the title. Awesome detective game. One of my all-time favorite games. I'd love to see a sequel to LA Noire. This is one we talked about recently because we played it. Punch-Out. I don't know what Nintendo's deal is with Punch-Out. This one, the last game, came out in 2009. So we're going to be going on 16 years here soon since Punch-Outs came out. The only games they've ever had in the series, they had 2 arcade games, Punch-Out and Super Punch-Out. They had the NES Punch-Out, they had the SNES Super Punch-Out, and they had this. That's it. This could be a way more frequent franchise. Every edition that comes out is awesome. Why, in God's name, did we not get a Punch-Out on the Switch? But man, Nintendo, I don't think this franchise is dead because they've never said that, but I don't know if it's in development, but they need to get a new Punch-Out out, and soon. I like Jeff's list. Half of the games are really good titles, so half of them aren't, so I don't know if you like it. I think you're kind of 50-50 on it then, right? Next, Portal. It's in the curse of the Valve only making 2 games and ending it. I don't know what the deal is. I think this one came out in 2011, maybe? Yeah, 2011. So it's going to be 15 years since the last game, and they came out pretty close. I think Portal 1 came out in 2007. It was a really short game that was on the orange box, if you remember that Valve compilation that came out. And then they did a full-fledged sequel, Portal 2. If you like puzzle games, Portal is friggin' awesome. I need to play those again. It's been years since I've actually played through those. Deus Ex, it may be dead. I don't know. They keep reviving and killing this thing. There was 4 games. This is the 3rd one. This one's my favorite, Deus Ex Human Revolution. The last one that came out, Mankind Divided, I think was 2016-ish. I've played the first one and 3 and 4. This is a series players have loved. I don't think Square owns it anymore. I think they sold off Eidos and all their franchises to somebody else. So I don't know who owns this, but the last game came out like 8 years ago-ish, and I thought that one was really good too. But I would love to see more Deus Ex. It's like a futuristic, cyberpunk-ish game where your character has augmentations, like robotic augmentations to your eyesight, to your arms, you know, and then it affects the abilities that you can do in the game, and you can pick and choose what. There's a lot of RPG elements to it. It's like an action RPG. It's really fun. So if you guys haven't played Deus Ex, I recommend it. Next, and I can't believe this one, that we have to actually talk about this. Castlevania. The last Castlevania game that came out was the sequel to this one in 2014. There hasn't been a new Castlevania game in 10 years. Now, they have put out the collections, which is good. Maybe they're testing the waters again, like I was talking about earlier with Nintendo and F-Zero. Maybe Konami's testing the waters. So they now have the DS collection out, the Advanced collection, and then the original like NES, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo collection. As far as an actual new Castlevania game, yes, 10 years that the sequel to this, Lords of Shadows 2, came out. I like the Lords of Shadows series. It was kind of like a prequel. And there's a swerve in it with this main character here, that Gabriel Belmont, I believe was his name. I'm not going to spoil the swerve. It's pretty sweet, but these games were fun. I think that they don't necessarily, if they brought back Castlevania, that they would have to bring them back in this third-person modern-day style. I think they could do the old-school 2D style. Look what Metroid did with Metroid Dread. That worked great. You know, the Turtles beat 'em up. Shredder's Revenge was kind of old-school style. I think they could go back to the old-school style Castlevanias. You know, the most loved Castlevania game by most people is Symphony of the Night. Do another one in that style. Next, Dead Space. This is a series that they did try to bring back recently. They remade Dead Space 1. I thought the remake of this game was excellent. It's actually my favorite Dead Space to play, is the Dead Space 1 remake. But I have a lot of nostalgia for Dead Space 1 original and Dead Space 2. Not as much Dead Space 3. Studio involvement there, forced co-op into Dead Space 3. It took it out of being like a close-quarter horror game and put it out action style in these big snowy mountains. I don't think Dead Space 3 is bad. I just don't think it's as good as 1 and 2. So Dead Space 3 kind of killed the series. It was dead. They tried to bring it back, but the remake to Dead Space I think is even better. And that's saying something because that doesn't happen a lot. With Dead Space and Silent Hill 2, I actually prefer the remakes. But Dead Space is a fun horror third-person series. I do recommend it if you guys have never played it, and it's got a good storyline. Next, BioShock. BioShock 1 is one of my all-time favorite games. I love 2, even though it was made by a different studio. It still felt like BioShock. BioShock Infinite, which was the third game, went to a completely new setting, but it was made by the studio that made BioShock 1. I love that game as well, and we haven't gotten anything since. And BioShock Infinite came out in 2013. BioShock 2, this had multiplayer. And it was it felt like one of those instances where, multiplayer games are getting big. And like I talked about with Dead Space 3 earlier, so the studio kind of forced them to shoehorn multiplayer in. But I had fun with the multiplayer on this. I played it a lot. BioShock, the story, the setting, especially underwater city of Rapture, Infinite, went to a sky city called Columbia, a city up in the clouds. And that was an awesome setting too. And the time settings, I believe that one took place, Infinite took place in the early 1900s. I think BioShock 2 was the 60s and BioShock 1, BioShock 1 was 59 or 60. And then BioShock 2, I think, was 68, 69, something like that. But those games are awesome. SSX. They brought this back in 2012, I believe, but what made SSX great was the arcade style of it, and the neon lights and the flashy colors. I mean, this was PS2 AF. This game was absolutely amazing. Tricky, the sequel, I think made it better. I know they came out with like SSX 3, SSX on Tour. We had one. I haven't played those. I've picked them up over the years, and I do want to play those, but my experience is with the original, Tricky, and then the remake / reboot in 2012. That game was fun, but I didn't have as much fun with it as I did with this, because it was like it looked like you were like actually on real mountains. So I would like to see SSX come back, but in the style of the original games and not the reboot that they did in 2012. Even though I did enjoy that game, I didn't enjoy it as much as the original. Next series I want to come back, Ape Escape. There was 3 of these that I know of. I don't know, they may have made a PSP one. I don't know much about the PSP because I never had it, but there was 3 console games. Ape Escape 1 on PS1 and 2 and 3 on PS2. This game is just like a simple premise. You go around levels and you try to capture all the apes. And you use different gadgets to do so, different ways to catch them, sneak up on them, but just getting the net and smacking the net down and getting them in it was like so satisfying. A lot of people had this as like their PS3 avatar. So I don't know what they're doing here. We need more Ape Escape. I don't know what it is about that game. It is so just simple. Run around and catch apes. But getting the ape in the net is so awesome. It's so awesome. All right, the last one I want to come back. And I know a lot of people would have this one on their list. Bully. Why in God's name did we never get a Bully 2? Can somebody explain that to me? Maybe because, well, we milked GTA 5 for 100 years, and we didn't need to make more games, and then we made Red Dead 2. So if you guys don't know what Bully is, it's like a GTA type, check out this map. GTA type game, but you're a prep school kid running around doing prep school things, and they had factions of kids like the nerds and the jocks. This game was awesome, and for some reason, we never got another one. Should be a damn franchise by now. I agree, Natboy. Bully is A tier, underrated. I agree, Jedi. This was like old school PS2 GTA style because originally this was a PS2 game. And then they did like this scholarship edition remaster, kinda. They didn't officially call it a remaster, but it says like enhanced graphics and enhanced gameplay that they put out on 360. So a few new missions and it's supposed to look better. I can't remember with the PS2. I don't think it looks that much different. But this was originally a PS2 game, so it was in like the GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas years. But this game is friggin' awesome. It's Revenge of the Nerds for more modern audiences. That is a good way to put it. Those are the games and series that I want to see return. I want to know what you want to see return.